The Subspace Emissary wasn't that bad. Me and my friend Peter recently played through it, and we had a lot of fun. There were a few problems. There are some stages that didn't quite age so well, but it's whatever. I have been hearing a lot of negative talk about this over the years on Twitter. People who are saying nostalgia blinds you. Subspace Emissary wasn't that good. I don't think so. I think Subspace was pretty fucking cool. Today, I wanted to do something fun for me. We are going to make a tier list based on who mattered the most in Subspace. Right away, I do want to clarify, we are going cutscene content only. So anything that happened in-game or like, you know, implied stuff like, oh, this character defeated this boss, this character did that, blah, 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 stuff like that. That'll be useful, but we can't just put Meta Knight in S just because he's really strong, or we can't put Diddy Kong in S because you and your cousin used them a lot when you were kids. I think we should start off with something really simple. Mario. I think he gets like a solid A tier. I think he was... He did well. He did well for what his job was. He didn't go above and beyond, but he brought together the people he needed to. He fought Kirby for no reason. Actually, what did he do? He's there a lot, but you know, he's there enough. I'll keep him in A. We'll see how the list shakes out from there on. Let's get an easy S tier out of the way that we just have to. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? He has saved multiple people from being trophies. He was one of the only people to be untrophied after Taboo's big everyone dies attack. He has to be S tier. There's just nothing I can do about that. Here's an interesting one. Ness. He really doesn't do much. He basically he saves Lucas and then incites Lucas to go do stuff. But does he do much on his own? I want to say not really. But I think that's a solid B tier for what he did. It's not really his fault that he didn't get to do much. Wario kind of just like froze him instantly. He's a big self-sacrificer. He likes doing that a lot. He did. I think baseline, anyone of the 4 characters that got untrophied has to be B tier because they're just too important. Let's have this conversation. Villains, people who technically did more bad than good. I think I'm gonna have to put Robin A tier. I think if you're villainous, as long as you did a lot to move the plot along, you deserve to be high on the list because that's still plot happening. Oof. Ancient Minister, hold on. Because once he's Rob, he doesn't really do much. But Ancient Minister is probably just A tier. Probably just A tier. Let's make a new tier. Let's make a new tier. Alright. Jigglypuff. Whoa, not you. Wolf and Toon Link. Bums, not in the story mode. Fox is A tier. He's just around. He does things. He helps out too many people. Let's get some real D tiers in here to see what it looks like. Yoshi's a C tier. Yoshi doesn't do anything. Yoshi just kind of hangs out with Link, and then once they meet up with Mario, he's like, why are we fighting these guys? But he doesn't stop anything. He's just there. He's just doing it. He's like kind of just perma-chilling. Olimar might be a C tier. Olimar's just scared the whole time. His Pikmin don't do anything. He gets carried around by Falcon too much. He's not in D tier because he is one of the ships in the cutscene, you know the one. Pokemon Trainer, B tier. Same thing as Ness. He doesn't do anything except just like give Lucas motivation. Like he's not doing anything fancy. He's not doing anything crazy. He's just like looking for Pokemon, and Lucas happens to be there. We've talked about him enough. Let's just get Lucas up there. Lucas, A tier. He's just the GOAT. He goes on a journey, dude. But he really does hold his weight. He helps defeat a boss, which I guess Pokemon Trainer also does, but he helps defeat 2 bosses, is around way too much to not be an A tier. He's kind of the same as Mario, where he's just around a lot, and he does a lot, but nothing really substantial at any one point. Alright, let's get Falco up there. He's A tier too. Defeats Bowser, defeats Giant Evil Diddy Kong. He shows up to help defeat Duon. Wait, does he do that much? I think he's just cool. Brings Diddy to the island. Oh man. Alright, you know what? You know what? Maybe he is B tier. Maybe he is B tier. Let's get the villains. Bowser, A tier. Does some shit. He's on it. He is always doing shit. He doesn't even like taking orders from Ganondorf. He just does. Kidnaps 2 princesses, all-time high. Once he gets revived, he instantly fights DDD, and then he's like, oh, Master Hand is defeated. Oh, Bowser, I think he deserves that. All right, let's talk about some real Luigi's D tier. Luigi's D tier. I know I said that thing about B tier baseline this. Luigi's D tier. All he does is get killed by DDD, get revived, get hugged, and then points at the staircase with everyone else. Luigi, come on, hold your way, bro. Link. I feel like Link and Pit both go in about B tier, because they both kind of occupy the same space in the story where they are just in their own worlds that get invaded by the subspace, and then they converge. And then depending on what path you have, one of them stops the car by shooting it. But they don't really do anything special or specific by themselves. Man, let's just get it out of the way. Let's just get it out of the way. Bro. Ike is the tippy-toppiest S tier we could possibly have. He is so cool. I know everyone knows he's the only guy to catch Ancient Minister, blah, blah, blah. But come on, man. He's the only one to stop a subspace bomb. And then for the rest of the time we see him, he's just doing shit. He's the first one to run after Gallium. He's always just on it, man. And matter of fact, let's just bring the whole trio up here while we're here. Marth and Meta Knight. Also, Meta Knight especially. Honestly, Meta Knight might be the bus driver here. He shows up, fights Marth. They learn they have to work together, and then he moves on with Ike. And then once Ike, Marth, and Meta Knight's storyline is done, and Meta Knight's the one who saves Lucas in Pokemon Trainer, then he goes on and climbs the mountain, meets the ice climbers, and then goes on to his own ship, helps take it down from the inside out, and then pilots it, and he's the one who's driving the main ship into the final battle. Is that not crazy? You know what? No, I don't think Marth's up here. I'm sorry. I love the trio. What does Marth do? I mean, Marth helps this trio, but Marth might be B tier. He might be the same with these three, and that's sad. It's more about what he represents. Ganon as a villain, C tier probably. Always just sitting back on his ass, kind of a Craven thing. Go my goons, go do this thing for me. But he's not really doing any of it himself. Game & Watch, D tier. Now, I will say, during the Gray Maze, 9 Judge is the most useful thing when we're fighting those lower level, like, when you have to fight everybody. All he does is show up, and then he holds the parasol, and he beep, 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 and he just walks around. Ice Climbers might also be D tier. All they do is just kind of do that shit. They just walk around. Meta Knight meets them, and it's kind of whatever. Snake would be D tier if he didn't help. All he does is wait on the halberd the whole game, and then he is in the halberd, and then he helps with the halberd stuff. He frees the princesses and fights Duon, but then nothing special. So he might also, yeah. No, that's a boss. I think that's B tier. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about DDD. I think he might be S tier. He is the reason that anyone came back. Those badges are the reason anyone came back after Taboo's big attack. All he wanted to do was help. He beats Bowser, he flicks him on the nose. He seems like a bit of a bad guy at first, sure, but we don't know. We don't know that. We don't know that. All he wanted to do was help. He had an apocalypse plan. He was the one. He knew what was going on. Also, this S tier is seeming very mid-2000s Sakurai, if you know what I mean. Let's get the DK crew in here. Diddy gone. The only reason Fox and Falco did anything. Also just perma on his mission to rescue Donkey Kong. That's A tier. That's a pretty easy A tier for me, I think. He is really about it. He goes on as much of a journey as Lucas does, matter of fact. And Donkey Kong, he gets trophied pretty early, but when he comes back, he's really like, oh man, Donkey Kong's back. But does he do that much? I mean, he technically helps defeat Meta Ridley, if you want to say that. And he helps everyone in like the island. Nah, that's like a B tier. That's a B tier. That's a boss. Plus, he saves Diddy in the first place. I think B tier is fair for him. Samus and Pikachu. Let's wrap up these island characters. Samus is kind of just on her own mission to get her power suit, and then helps people with it. She does have a ship in that final section, and I can't put her in the same tier as Olimar because that's his only reason for being here. So I'm pretty sure that's another B tier. And Pikachu, he does defeat Ridley the first time. He does shock Ridley to death. But I don't know. I think that might be a C tier. He's kind of also just doing his own thing, but he is like just a tortured animal. So it's not his fault he's in C tier, but you know, I mean, it is what it is. Falcon, he might be A tier. He might be A tier. He's the only reason they got off the island. He killed a lot of Pikmin for no reason. That was pretty fucked up. But he's the only reason they got off the island. He was really helpful in that whole situation. I think he had a ship during the ending portion. Sonic, let's have this conversation. He does something. He does something. He has to go C tier. He has to go C tier because he does something. None of these guys really do anything, but he does stop Taboo's attack even though he's there only in the final cutscene. That's something. Peach. Now, I think Peach will be weird to rank because, well, if you save her with Kirby, what do you even do? Kind of walk around until Kirby leaves her alone and she gets shot. Now that I think about it. I think Peach doesn't really do much. She does calm everyone down on the halberd. I'll give her that. I'll give her that for sure. Zelda and Sheik, because Zelda does do a lot more on the halberd. Sheik is a lot more active. Sheik also just almost kills Fox for no reason. I think they're about the same tier. In fact, I'd even say Peach does more because she calms people down. And Zelda's the one who incited that fight in the first place, even though she had no reason to. It's pretty fucked up. Lucario helps Meta Knight on the halberd, and I think that's pretty. He really does help out on the halberd. He fights Meta Knight, they shake hands, but does that put him above C tier just because he helped out on the halberd? You know what? If Snake is B tier, I guess Lucario's B tier. And Wario. He is a Lucas Insider. He is a Lucas Insider. That's something I'm thinking about. Maybe Wario is more important than we think. Maybe Wario is really helpful to the plot. He does cause most of the trophies, and then he just dies. He causes a lot of trophies, and then he gets his bike stolen by DDD. You know what? Integral to the plot a lot more than you would think. Again, I don't think maybe I'll order this, but I think that's a solid A tier. Yeah, let's order it. I'll be over here for ordering it. Sorry, I know it's my fisheye camera, but all right. If I'm being realistic, Ike stays in S tier, but he's not the tippy toppest S tier, and I'm sorry I have to do that. DDD is really important. DDD is really important. All three of these are really irreplaceable S tiers, I think. I think Meta Knight less so than these two, but still irreplaceable S tiers. Mario, I think, just goes down with Link and Pit. Honestly, if I can be totally honest. Rob. Man. The Ancient Minister. The Ancient Minister matters enough. I think he keeps that A tier. Fox. Fox does a lot. He's in like multiple storylines. And he does help Diddy out a lot. Yeah, he can stay up there. Bowser is also way too important. Bowser is Bowser might be down here with Wario because he's not as important, but he is a very good villain. Diddy Kong and Lucas are the underdogs of the story. They're who you're rooting for, and they're kind of everywhere. They stay there. Falcon is... I think Falcon can stay in A tier. Yeah, he does enough. He's the only reason they get off the island. Do I agree with this order, though? Underdogs. You're way more important than anyone would ever think. He's probably bottom of this. It feels right. That feels right. I think that's a good A tier. T now. I did say S really doesn't do that much, but he does help Lucas with that one boss fight. He's the Lucas Insider. He saves Lucas's life, and he's one of those who gets the badges. So I think that's a pretty solid. Honestly, that's a solid case for A tier. Pokemon trainer, just kind of doing his own thing. Vicariously helps just by being there. But he does fight the boss with Lucas, and he's a Lucas Insider, so that puts him above somebody like Yoshi. Falco, I think B tier is fair for Falco. He doesn't do too much special, but he helps out. He helps out where he can. These three, I think, are all solid B tiers. They don't do anything too special by themselves. They have that whole mission where they go into like DDD's castle and everything, but like, what do they get from that? The only person who gets anything from that is Kirby eats the badge. I mean, all 5 of them do have that moment where they save like Ike and the Pokemon trainer and Ice Climbers and everyone else from that like swarm, but meh. Marth, also just kind of one of the ones who helps out. He helps out, you know, and that's good. But Marth can't really go higher than B tier. Snake I think is fair. All he does is help out on the Halberd, and he really does help out on the Halberd. And so does Lucario, so we'll just keep him up here. And then Donkey Kong really doesn't do much, so I think that's bottom B. But when he gets free, does he do anything? Like it's implied that he helps you out with that swarm fight, but does that amount to a B tier? But he saves Diddy Kong. He saves Diddy Kong. Yeah, I can't take him out of B tier. And Samus also just is about the same thing, except she has one of the ships at the end, so that's her. You get it. Yoshi, Terminal Chiller, C tier. Yeah, C tier doesn't really do much. Olimar also does not really do too much. Ganon doesn't do much either. He's kind of just, go, do my bidding, and that's all he does. Pikachu, bit of a chiller, but also just kind of an animal. Not really his fault. Sonic has that one big save at the end, so that gets him out of D tier. Peach and Zelda are captured for most of the story, and that is the reason that whole thing happens, which is cool. But the other thing is that they don't even get badges, even though DD gives them badges, then Kirby gets it. So I think they're both like C tier. I think the C tier order should be something more like this. Yeah, I think something like that works out. Yeah, I think that's a better C tier order than what I had. And while we're here, does them freeing the princesses and being there for that boss fight really does put them up in my brain. Yeah, that feels a lot better actually. And then these 3, Luigi is one of the badges. Luigi being one of the badges puts him in C tier. I'm gonna say it. Yeah, him being one of the badges puts him in C tier. And then the Ice Climbers and Mr. Game & Watch. I truly don't think I can find anything positive about these guys. They really don't do a damn thing. I actually don't think. I think we could equate them to these guys. Ooh, Game & Watch is that weird. He is due on. So yeah, he is due on, and the Ice Climbers, do they do anything? I'm making an executive decision. I have to. There's nothing I can do about that. There's just nothing I can do about that. They are as useful as these characters. Yeah, this being our final list, I think I'm happy with this. This is the Subspace Emissary, how much do they matter tier list. If you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate you liking and commenting. It actually helps the algorithm a lot more than I realized. I thought YouTubers were just kind of saying it, and I was like, sure, it helps the algorithm. But 2 comments were left on my TMNT ranking video, and it's gotten 200 views in the past like 3 days since those comments were left. So I would appreciate any likes or comments that you guys could give. I'm down to have discussions about this also. I think this is a funny topic. But that's about it for me. Thank you guys for sticking around and making it to the end of this stupid video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.